All right, so here is Cadence in the black, and is in a specific training phase just before competition. It's kind of midweek. We're trying to focus on his serving technical aspect. Uh, this is kind of going through where he normally kind of serves from and his use of legs and rhythm with his arms. And so what we're trying to do is work on having a higher impact and using his legs to explode up and into the court.
A little bit faster using the legs. So explode up this time. Good. Let's see if you can land. See my racket here? Yeah. See if your front foot can land that far in front.
All right, so this is Cadence serving on July 20th. This is a day before his Headwaters under 14 3.5 start event. Um, he's still working on his use of his legs and his rhythm with his arms. He's having some issues keeping his left arm up, so we're trying to promote that. But other than that, we're not doing anything super technical. We're just trying to focus on good impact and using his legs to be hitting a consistent serve that bounces and hits the back fence was the goal today on one bounce. All right, so here we are on September 10th. Cadence is just coming back from taking a week off. So we're in a general phase. So now we're using no racket and emphasizing good hip hinge, driving up off the back foot, and having a good acceleration and throw feeling at the end. So this would be more of like a technical change that we're doing now. Um, and since it's general phase, we have lots of time. We're doing sort of high volume but lower intensity to improve this. All right, so here's Cadence serving October 10th. Um, our goal here was to do a bit of a perform drill. Um, he's got to make 4 to 5 serves in with good quality on one bounce. All right, so here's another clip of some forehand technical work we did. This is on October 10th, just after his 4-star event. He came back saying that he had shanked a lot of balls and that he didn't feel quite confident using his forehand. So what we did is we used kind of like an apparatus which would help keep his forearm and bicep kind of extended from his body. And in order to use less forearm, it would kind of keep the arm in place. And we were trying to work on his ability to maintain smooth rhythm with his hips and shoulders, creating momentum going forward. All right, so this is again October 12th, where we did the technical intervention with the piece of tape. This is just after we did the exercise, and now we've sort of added the element of making 4 in a row. So just adding to that consistency element in a general phase. And he's done a pretty good job throughout this drill. I feel like you know, he's pushed through it. He did make some errors, but immediately as he missed, we sort of like addressed it, and then we kind of moved forward. And as he gets more confidence, I move farther back, um, allowing him to get a little bit more of a realistic ball, and him trying to set up and hit with good quality throughout this drill. All right, so this is on July 20th, and this goes back to our one of our areas that he needed to work on from the match that I charted. His second shot after the serve is too inconsistent, so we were trying to just focus on after he does a pretend serve, get back, use his legs to set up for the next shot, and be super consistent and make the ball. We were just doing it as a progression, so I was using it from hand, especially to the back end, which he was receiving a lot of balls to the back end. All right, and then this is the second part of the progression where I'm feeding from the other side as the returner, heavy into the back end. His job is to try to neutralize it and hit it back deep cross court. Uh, and he was trying to make as many as he could out of 10. He was struggling to get across court with quality. You can see he's not as confident from his backhand wing. So was an area that we really worked on throughout the summers. It was just solidifying that backhand, making sure he's consistent with the second shot.
Perfect. So.
Okay, so going back to July 14th, a couple days after I saw his match with Charding, obviously his first shot and second shot, whether it's serving or returning, needed to be more consistent. So in this drill, very general.
Play 2 for 2. Good. 3 for 3. That's better. 4 for 4.
All right, so here's October 22nd. Cadence is gearing up for another tournament. This is, right before the tournament. We want to work on our focus, so he's trying to hit every return at the peak of the bounce on a second serve, and he's got to make 4 out of 5 to the player's backhand under 2 minutes. So he's got 2 minutes to make 4 out of 5. And again, he's trying to stay intense and focused, but also, go for the ball and make sure he's putting some pressure on the back. All right, so here's September 10th, just before tournament weekend coming up. We're working on being able to maintain 2 quality rally balls, one from his backhand, one from his forehand. The only issue is there are times where his focus and effort did drop. So for this drill to work, I had to kind of build up his his drive to want to make the ball. We didn't add a lot of variation to this. My goal is just to help build his confidence for this tournament, make sure that he feels confident hitting backhand cross court to the opponent, and then when he receives kind of a forehand in the middle of the court, he's able to use his body and hit it cross court heavy and open it up. And he does get to a point where he's almost about to fail. Luckily, he pushed through it, and he was able to achieve the sets that we set up. And I think for this drill, we had set up they had to make 2 in a row. But if he had missed 2 in a row, he deducted a point from his score, and we got to, I want to say 7 to finish this drill. Alright, so here's Cadence. He's trying to get 10 balls in a row with quality, and also making sure he's hitting the ball at the peak of the bounce. He's about 10 days away from a big competition, and we're just sort of really grooving his strokes, making sure he's implementing all the things that we've worked on technically before we start to work on some tactics later on in the session. Alright, so here's a clip from end of October, pre-competition. It's gearing up for a couple big events in November. So what we're trying to do is just keep adding to what we've been focusing on technically, and adding it into a situation where he has to choose to be either open stance or closed stance, and hitting the ball at the peak of the bounce. And his goal is to get sets of 2 balls cross court, and then when he finds the third shot at the peak of the bounce, he's going for it to a big target. Alright, so here's a pre-competition phase. Really important for Cadence to make 2 balls in a row cross court, and then the point starts. If he was to miss one of the first 2, he loses a point. So the focus is on being consistent, smart, and some pressure to perform. All right, so this is on October 29th, just before another tournament he's got. Seems to be the theme here. So uh, it's a second serve compete drill. Basically, the players got one serve. You got to get it in. You can only win points as the returner. And so, in order to become the returner, you need to win 2 points in a row as the server. And so, it's super challenging. It's first to 5 points. You can see that when when he's the server, he's struggling to win points. So this is huge. This is something that he's gonna have to keep improving, getting better at and confident that even with one serve, you still got to win points. You still got to stay in the point and compete strong. Okay, so we're about a week and a half before a big 4-star event. We're starting to get into that compete mode, but we're still working on a lot of other areas of his game, specifically the second serve. So in this game, he's got to compete. He's got a second serve. It's first to 5 points. If the returner wins, it gets the 5. They can stay as the returner. If the server gets the 5, they become the returner. And obviously, the returner has advantage. They can win 2 points if they get a good return to the player's backhand and cause the player to miss.